言うことは一つだけ。絶対負けねえ。
Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Nothing Excess. I've got a new player analysis for you guys. It's been a while since the last player analysis. That's because there haven't really been that many players to analyze, sorry. And honestly, I wasn't just going to make a video just for Cha. I was waiting to see if anything else happened. And then we have Cha and Rivaul, which makes it worth taking a look at. So we're going to go through these really fast. It's just two of them, and I don't think there's that much to talk about, except maybe be really pissed about Rivaul. So here we go. First off, we got Rivaul, Brazilian ace is true power. Now, Caleb really wanted to remind us green players that they don't care about him by making a player that was more or less a little mediocre and keeping him more or less a little mediocre. Now, he has a very strange subset of hidden abilities that don't make any sense considering his skill set and skill support availability, but there is method to the madness of what they were trying to do. I just don't know that it was done properly, so we'll talk about it. This Rivaul is already not primarily a shooter because it was put to better use building the game via passing and taking the ball via tackling, but he's not really a pass cutter. And because he has about 6.9k pass cut in his previous version, and still they gave him 80% auto intercept enhance, and you can farm a bad B intercept for him, which is forcible intercept, which has a 205 cap. But he's a good tackler, and they didn't really focus on that. Instead, I really don't know what the point of that was. I'm at a loss. I don't know why they wouldn't give him something to emphasize the fact that he's a good tackler, but I'm not Caleb. I don't make the decisions. He's one of the most bizarrely designed hidden abilities so far. He is a forward and attacking midfielder. His role is as a striker and as an enabler. I still rate him an A, and I might go for broke for him anyway because his team skill is very good. Let's talk about his pros. His team skill is good for South America, Japan because it's 13% South America, 7% Japan. If it was 13-10, it might have actually been OD, and then that might have actually made him go for broke no matter what. But Caleb decided to play it a little too safe here, in my opinion. He has special skills. His special skills are cheaper. Primarily, his shooting special, actually all of his special skills are cheaper. And he does have plenty of stamina. He's a 10k shooter and passer, and he's a 9.6k tackler. Shan momentum is usually 10% stronger because of one of his hidden abilities, and he's 20% stronger during full power because he has pedal to the metal. Now, for his cons, his hidden abilities are oddly non-functional. Auto pass cut 80% depends on his bad B205 cap pass cut and 7k pass cutting. His debuff skill isn't very good at first glance, but it does have interesting uses. He's a good tackler, but none of his hidden abilities emphasize that, and he's not very good in terms of skill support. There's not a whole lot of skills that he can use to his advantage. For example, he doesn't learn an A intercept or any other kind of intercept other than the bad B raid one. It is what it is. For his limit break, I would give him 25 speed, shot, and power, and then split pass between 22-3. The reason why I didn't go all in on pass and technique is because if you're going to limit break anyone on shooting, it better be because you're intending to score. If you're not going to try to score with shooting, don't limit break shot. Just don't bother. But if you are, then you have to go, in my opinion, all or nothing. Like, for me, shooting is an all or nothing limit break. You either go for it or you don't. And so 22-3 for me for shooting is never going to be an acceptable shooting limit break. I would rather just teach other things in that case. And since he can shoot once he's in full power, because he does get better benefit out of a limit break once he's in full power, because again, 20% boost, limit breaking on him is technically better than on other characters. Anytime you have someone with a percent boost to his stats, limit breaking is always better on them, and so it may just be viable to pump shoot here. Now for pass and technique, obviously, he's already strong enough, and he has a super strong skill, so that 22-3 is more than enough to do it. And then the speed emphasizes the fact that he's a decent dribbler, a good tackler, and obviously he has a little bit low speed, so you do want to give him a little bit more so he can get to places a little bit better. For his hidden abilities, we got stamina cost down, basically 10% cheaper. All his special skills are 10% cheaper. Is probably his best hidden ability out of the gate. Auto intercept enhance is a great passive, don't get me wrong. It's actually insane that it's 80% activation rate, but since he has 7042 in-match intercept and the only pass cut he learns is a B1 with 205 momentum, that means that all of his pass cut attempts are basically, at best, 14,000 unbuffed. That's terrible. If you do decide to use it, it might still stop bad wide passes, but it's just otherwise it's awful. Sharp angle shooter, if he came with a good S shot, and also sharp angle shooter would always activate as opposed to be 70%, it would actually be a much better passive. Right now, you're hoping that you have the A Skyhawk shot from the event version, and if not, you're kind of hosed because you have to teach him Golden Hawk shot. as your good shooting ability, and that one can't be shot from far away, so you don't have like an outlet. It is what it is. Stats -5 is interesting, right? So I rated an A, and I rated an A because of the way that it'll help you. If you get into a matchup against like some red defenders, you will appreciate that they're 5% weaker, and that there's no percent chance to it. You'll just be able to use NRS and get past them almost for sure, even if it's like cults. Because 5% debuff is actually quite big because it applies, debuffs are applied at the end. They don't subtract buffs first and are applied that way on the base value. It takes the total value and then applies a debuff. Debuffs are the last thing to apply, which is why debuffs seem so strong in the game right now. It's actually probably should be applied simultaneously, and then be additive, but I'm not the designer. This does make it very good against red goalkeepers too, because if you like a skyhawk shot from a off angle, and you're shooting a 320 no distance decay, no angle decay shot, that could probably troll a lot of goalkeepers. Yeah, it's pretty decent. Finally, we have all shot skill force 10%. Any shot that he takes is 10% stronger. It's only 90% of the time. I don't know why there's an activation rate on it, but since it almost always fires, it's actually quite decent. It would actually be good if it didn't have an activation rate, but instead it's just decent. It would probably be S if there was no activation rate. Even if the activation rate's almost guaranteed, the times that it fails is going to piss you off. So for his stats, we've got 1080 stamina. He has high shot pass, and as you can see, his tackle's pretty good. His dribble is no slouch either. He has 6,000 of that. So that does wind up being 8.7k dribble, 10k shot and pass, 9.6k tackle, and then intercept, which we keep talking about, is only 7k. Pretty awful. As you can see, for his skill build, he comes with SNRS, which is his 1-2. It's actually quite nice, a 490 thing. Then I would go with high speed South American dribble, which is something he comes with, and that you can level up with some SR units. A Skyhawk shot, also quite nice. If you did get the Rivaul, the event Rivaul, if you have that, give it to him. I would use that to replace twin shot. A super speed submarine defense, if you can get it off another version of Rivaul, I would teach it to him. And then B forcible intercept is the only thing you've got so that you can use one of your abilities. He doesn't really learn a good A pass, nor does he learn a good enough intercept to try and carry his bad stats with it for his auto pass cut. But if you want to at least have it available so you can defeat, like, I don't know, defenders trying to get rid of the ball, then you need the B version. A pinpoint pass EX, because of the costs, even with the hidden ability making it cheaper, is not very good. I would rather use 1-2s and white passing to enable your teams. Shooting with Skyhawk shot would actually be a better side option than trying to pass if you had to just pass. If you just wanted to get rid of the ball quick and you thought they were going to try to intercept you, I would just use a Skyhawk shot instead. It's good that NRS, though, has such insane momentum because that's what's going to let you beat a lot of people who are trying to pass cut you. He does have randomly strong shooting against red goalkeepers because of the stat debuff and other features. So he's not bad. He's weird and quirky, and he doesn't have a clean role in the meta. In South American teams, I think he'd be better, honestly. Now, there is this alternate skill build, and that is if you decide that you want to play a little bit more up close and personal, or you don't have the A shot, give him the S shot instead. Give him Golden Hawk shot. It's quite strong, and it'll be a little bit stronger. I mean, it's not that great. It's 450 with just one blowaway, but that's still a 450 shot with a blowaway, so you never know. If you don't care about pass cutting and you just want a better passing option, I would give him C pinpoint pass, not the AEX one, because AEX is not great. But that said, C is also not great. It's very weak. I wouldn't recommend it, but it can be done. If you're going to teach him the A pinpoint pass EX, I mean, I'd rather not, but some people still might. So you decide if that's best for you. I still think that it's way too expensive. It'll still be something like close to 300. It'll be like 280 for a pass, which is ludicrous, but it is what it is. Moving on, the next character, we've got Shan, the heavy tank play. The cool part about KLab releasing many new Asian characters is that we now have those characters in the SSR pool. In many ways, they're actually kind of decent, either because their team skills are very useful or because they make good mini counters in certain situations. Now, blue players aren't really needing ways to kill Salinas. They just gotta get close, and Salinas is dead by himself, and he's not that good. Cha does do it no matter what by crushing him by being 50% stronger against him. He also learns a 500 momentum shot if you want to gut the free World Cup version. He learns an S pass that you can farm with elite coins, and he learns an S dribble, which he has already as an ace skill, so if you want it, you can get it though. And he comes with a 1-2 with his partner Li Yong-un. He's not awful, but really he's not outright. You know, he's not like great, but he's not outright bad, honestly. For pros, he's an 11k club shooter, and he decimates Salinas and has good team skills. He's surprisingly okay skill support for units such as this. He's got like one of every little thing that he kind of needs. There might be a little bit harder to get out of the characters that you want because they're all SSRs, but it is what it is. For cons though, most skills he learns are expensive. He has low stamina. He's subpar at everything else but shooting, and his Selena's killer passive is very narrowly focused. He is a forward. His roles are striker and counter. Counter being that he is basically almost explicitly exists to counter Selena's. I rate him a B, and I would not go for broke for him unless you really just needed that team skill for some reason. Limit break, 25 speed, 25 shot, 25 power, and then 22-3 pass technique. Now, for his stats, he's got 871 stamina, which is actually quite bad, but remember that he was a player that was injured in the manga, couldn't play at his max potential. That's how they showed it there. His actual in-game stats wind up being 11k shot, everything else is somewhere in the 7s, except for block, which is in the 8, but you'll never use the block, and he doesn't have a skill for it. For his skill build, he's got S heavy tank shot, and then I would give him, he comes with a heavy tank dribble and strong tiger, gentle tiger, you might as well keep those, and then give him S heavy tank pace from the league version, and the A high power tackle. I don't remember where you get the high power tackle from. I think you get it only from the other two versions, the other SSR and the store version, so it is what it is. He's more or less what you want if you're trying to play him pretty straightforward. He will most likely be the last person to get the ball to try and shoot, and he'll almost always just be coming in against Selena's to beat him up because you're having trouble against him with your blue team. His A12 is decent. There's no good version of Elite out there to pair him up with, so you can use it. When he does come, it might be better. It might be better to keep that skill around when that eventually comes. Now, if you don't really care and you're really inexplicably committed to this character, you can choose to pay 500 stamina every time to let this strong as hell S heavy tank shot EX rip. It's better than the shot in the World Cup version. I mean, it's better to keep the shot in the World Cup version. It's still an option that exists and that you might find viable if, for instance, refuse to play any other color than blue. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming out and checking out this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope this helped you determine how valuable your characters were. If you enjoyed it, make sure to click like on the video, leave a comment telling me what you think of the characters, click subscribe if you haven't already, and click the little bell if you want to be informed anytime I make a new video or anytime I go and live stream. I haven't live streamed lately because I've been doing a lot of other stuff. I have just been crazy busy. I did want to live stream some Tsubasa Cup, but I don't think, since it's not going to be around for next Saturday and I don't plan on streaming this weekend, that'll be a little bit difficult. I do plan on having a Team Doctor live stream sometime soon, and I do hope that I can get back to that. So thanks guys for being so patient. If you want to support the channel, you can leave me a donation at the Streamlabs link down there in the comments, or you can become a member of my Patreon. Hopefully my monetization review comes up soon, so I'll be able to get YouTube to review the channel and see if they're interested in doing that again. But other than that, thanks a lot guys for coming and checking it out, and I hope to see you guys soon. I do want to give some shout outs obviously to my Patreon subscribers. We're going to do that real quick. Thanks to Mohammed Al Hussein, thanks to Paria Pote, thanks to Jorge Arce, and thanks to Gabe Lee for being members of my Patreon. Anyways guys, thank you all for coming out here, and I hope to see you guys soon.